detail of Mr. Godwin Ike on the screen so that we just allow you to see them and record. Okay, that's the detail there on the screen. And Mr. Godwin Ike is one who had loved aviation more than the way aviation loved itself, and he's been following very, very closely here. And that is the contact of Mr. Godwin Ike. The phone number is there, the website is there, the YouTube channel. If you want to watch some of these videos after now, Twitter handle is there, Mr. Godwin Ike, and it is surveyor and an aviation freak. Sir, you're welcome to
Good morning. Thank you very much. Yeah. And how was your weekend?
My weekend was not good at all. The first one was that there was very terrible voter apathy.
That's correct.
Excessive voter
Horrible
apathy.
one.
While we were coming out of the voter apathy, trying to navigate into Sunday to actually come and do analysis here, we were shocked to just discover that Ethiopian Air crashed. A very mega plane crashed here.
Yeah.
And the last time I traveled out of Nigeria was in November last year, and I flew Ethiopian Air from Abuja Airport here to Addis Ababa. From Addis Ababa, Ethiopian Air carried me straight from Addis Ababa down to Beijing. And when the plane crashed, I just got this.
I know the psychological impact that was. Well, you see, when accidents happen, they come with a tone of finality. And once anything in this world, presents a tone of finality, you have no other choice but to accept, the fate that has befallen you or your loved ones. In this case, bad one for the world, because that airplane had men and women from over 33 countries of the world. I understand about 2 Nigerians were there as well. And it's quite sad. And to think that a brand new airplane would go on crashing this way and slaughtering people. Something is wrong somewhere. And
some 5 months ago, if I'm right here.
Yeah, that was Indonesia.
We talked about that one, and now we're seeing one again, same Boeing brand here.
Yeah.
And the question is, even I know we have a topic for today, but I know what the public want to hear is what we are talking about now. The plane crash is fresh. We've lost 2 Nigerians there. The Americans lost 8. Some countries lost more. The Ethiopian themselves, I think Ethiopia and Kenya share the largest number here. What went wrong? I know China at any point had granted this fleet of it.
Okay, I want to explain to you from the findings that took place. That was the Indonesia crash. It was. If I have a miniature, I'll be able to describe something to you. Max 8 in particular. By the way, Boeing Max series, you have them in the 7, 8, 9, 10. Depending on the size. So Mach 8 is a regional. No wonder Ethiopian Airlines used it for hopping across from Addis Ababa to Nairobi, Kenya, which was where they were heading when it happened. Now, that's a technology that was installed in this brand of Boeing, which is called anti-stall. Now that anti-stall, what it does is that anytime the airplane gets on a high angle of attack, which might cause a stall, the anti-stall system overrides the pilot and engages the elevator into a positive position. For elevators, when you have it this way, which tends to push you up, is said to be in a negative position. But when you have it down, which tends to push down the nose of the airplane, is said to be in a positive position. So that anti-stall system was designed to, once the sensor that works with it finds the airplane in such a high angle of attack, which will slow down the airplane and cause it to stall. Right. That anti-stall system overrides the pilot and quickly, automatically engages the elevator into a positive position, which now pushes up the tail and then forcing down the nose of the airplane. Now, what I think is going on here is that the sensor technology hasn't gotten it really right, because it will seem from what happened in Indonesia that once that kicks in, the sensor is not intelligent enough to know that the nose has come to a safe level for the airplane to resume.
It's still bringing it down.
It continues to bring it down. I am describing what's been discovered with in the Indonesian crash. And then to think that this happens only during takeoff and in that initial ascent to the skies, exactly the same way it happened in Indonesia. They had just barely taken off and were trying to get to the assigned altitude when that happened. So my imagination is, give me that again and I'll show you something. Now,
okay.
Different pilots have different ways of getting their ascent into the sky. The normal way, as a matter of fact, that all pilots are told during their training and during their flight practices is that when you run and get up into the sky, you reduce your pitch. First of all, there's a pull when you hit your V1 speed that takes you up into the sky, and as soon as you get up there, you are supposed to push back a little bit on your joystick to bring your nose down in order for you to gain airspeed. But for some reason, sometimes pilots want to hit a particular altitude at a quicker time. For instance, if you're taking off in a direction that your systems have shown you that you have turbulence at a particular sky level, and you want to quickly get above it so as to keep your passengers comfortable, there is tendency for some pilots to take it up quite high in order to gain ascent to that level that they want before they get into that turbulence. And sometimes they see a very thick cloud on their path, and they know that that thick cloud has a height limit, and they want to fly above it. So you find most pilots will do their takeoff on a high angle of attack as they are leaving. Now my imagination is that if a pilot that has forgotten that he has a Max 8 in his hands, or rather on his hands, might want to do a thing like that, and momentarily forget that there is an auto system in that Max 8 that will override you and push down this nose. That's my imagination. Maybe the pilot would want to hit the sky and get to a particular altitude for a particular time limit, and then the anti-stall system kicks in, and when it kicks in, it overrides you. Even if you are pulling your joystick, the plane won't respond anymore. It will rather respond to the auto maneuver of the anti-stall system. So we don't know yet what happened to the one heading to Nairobi, but if they didn't run into some strange and unlikely engine problems, I say unlikely because the kind of engines that are installed in those Macs are said to be the best, most economical, and very powerful. So if we're not dealing with engine problems here, then definitely we are dealing with the anti-stall system, doing its job very badly.
But many persons had complained that this particular brand of plane, they've complained before around the world, and they said China had taken action, but some other countries are.
Well, that's the sad part of it. If investigation shows that that the anti-stall system was responsible for this particular, I expect that Boeing should recall all of them from around the world and give pilots back control of the planes they fly. I mean, pilots are usually trained to understand the difficulties.
If or what would they be doing? They have to deactivate the anti-stall or take it out completely.
But they would need to take it out completely. They would need to take it out completely. After all, it's just that technologies and engineers continue to stress their brains, thinking through, looking for solutions to problems that pilots encounter in the skies, and then wanting to have the airplane use technology to do it better and keep people safer. But there again, I am imagining that the sensor that is informing that system that it's time to kick in and it's time to kick out, that sensor is not working well. Something is still wrong because when it kicks in and brings down your nose, as it should be designed in such a way that when your nose comes back to a level that gives you airspeed,
it returns control to the pilot.
It returns control to the pilot and stops the dive. But as was seen in the case of the crash in Indonesia, as soon as it kicked in, it went on, and the pilot was struggling with it, but he had no more control. The auto system had control, and before he could say jack, the thing went on a deep dive and never stopped diving until it crashed into the Java Sea. So it is a big concern. Boeing must at this time do something about it, especially if investigation shows that anti-stall system caused this crash. It will be one too many. It will just be one too many.
Okay, but as we speak now, the aviation world is already in grief. President Muhammadu Buhari yesterday issued a statement condoling with the families of the 2 Nigerians on board, as well as the other persons who died in the crash. So much talk across the world over that. It's one that is, apart from us here who are facing election and we are looking at the news trickling in from across the country, across the world. This is what is dominating discourse, and many persons are asking questions here. What should be done? Several Americans, 8 Americans also were killed in that crash. 2 Nigerians were
very
killed
sad.
in the crash. Very sad here.
Very sad.
Sometimes I told some person, as far as I'm concerned, my excessive fear for takeoff and landing.
But those are the 2 dangerous parts of that.
I really have been. So once, sometime when the plane takes off, I just close my eye. I close my eye when I know we have stabilized. And when the plane is landing, sometimes, but some pilots really made my day when you're landing and you don't even know you land.
Oh no, it's about scale. It's about scale.
They land, you don't even know they land. Sometimes you're just waiting to then touch down.
Yeah.
And they touch down.
It's all about scale. It's all about scale. I mean, there are a lot of skillful people around, and if you have the right skills and you've really flown this, on and on. Yeah, it is a faithful machine, but we must.
Anything about is human hair.
That's correct. So it's quite sad, very sad, really sad. But then again, like I said, let's wait for investigators to go in there, get the black boxes, listen to the conversations, and then look at the flight, recorder, find out the parameters that were set, what transpired. It won't be long. Investigators will try and pin a finger to exactly what happened. But I am saying, if it turns out that the anti-stall system is also the culprit in this one, it will be one too many, and I will urge Boeing to recall all these airplanes and remove that system immediately and give control back to pilots.
Okay, quickly, our time is fast spent here, but discussing what is touching the world, news is what is fresh, what is current, and what is. But let's start off with the program for the. Even if we can't finish it, we got next week. God giving us life to continue from that point here. But what are we going to start with this week?
Now, we are. You remember we were interrupted by the helicopter accident of Mr. Vice President. We had done parts 1, 2, 3 of refocusing the transportation system in 2019 in order to keep Nigeria truly one. We are done with the aviation part of it. Today we'll be looking at the maritime, sector. So if we can get our clip one, we'll run quickly and see how much we can go.
Let's get clip one.
Before the time chases us away here. Here we go, introducing the Nigerian maritime sector. The National Maritime Authority, NMA, predecessor of Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, was established by the Shipping Policy Decree of 11th May 1987. Supervised by the Federal Ministry of Transport, its mandate was to ensure orderly development, protection, and manpower training in the shipping industry. It was also mandated to monitor maritime pollution and spillage in Nigerian waters. Very important to note some of these activities that all these agencies set up by government are supposed to be doing for us. Prior to the establishment of NMA and NIMASA, the Nigerian Ports Authority was long established in 1954. After, would you believe that Nigerian Ports Authority started operations way back in 1950? Right. By an act of Parliament, Port Act Cap 155, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria and Lagos, 1955. Now known as MPA Act Cap N126 LFN 2004. It commenced operations in April 1955 with Lagos and Port Harcourt ports. Note that data. Correct. Lagos and Port Harcourt ports commenced the operations of our maritime business in this country. You would wonder what went wrong along the line. But let's quickly look at clip 2, and we're there already. Calabar Port was acquired in 1969, as far back as then. The ports of Old Warri and Burutu were acquired in 1972, and the Federal Lighter Terminal owner in 1983. These are ports that should have been further developed and should have been bubbling today, and you can imagine, how our shipping business would have been the President Shehu Shagari administration in 1983 began the development of a small port at Onitsha, Anambra State, with a huge promise to dredge the River Niger in order to give large vessels access to the Onitsha port. That project is yet to see the light of the day. Recently, the government of President Muhammad Buhari described the Onitsha River port as a gold mine. Yes, that's how Mr. President described as a gold mine waiting to be tapped. It promised to have the port operational on or before the end of 2019. Am I excited? If you ask me, I am thrilled, and I'm waiting, and I hope this promise is kept. And as we go on, we will see what we've done to ourselves as a people and as a nation by ignoring some of these ports around the nation. Let's quickly go to clip 3. We're already there. In order to put in perspective the state of our ports, there is no better way to do so than to publish verbatim the paper presentation by the Managing Director of the Nigerian Ports Authority MPA, Mrs. Hadiza Bala Usman, at a seminar organized by the Abuja Transport and Aviation Correspondents Association, ATACA, on 27th September 2017 at NAF Conference Center, Kado, Abuja, Nigeria. I was in attendance and also presented a paper titled,
That's a plaque there.
yes, Attracting Investment in the Nigerian Aviation Industry, the Role of Government and Industry Players. That was the paper that I presented. And my dear viewers, the plaque you're looking at beneath that write-up is the appreciation plaque, very humbly and respectfully presented to me by the management of APACA, the Abuja Transport and Aviation Correspondents Association. And so, we'll go to clip 4 and begin to take a look at the presentation. Yeah, that's a better, thank you for that. That's a better look, closer one, for the appreciation given to me very humbly for that paper presentation.
Expert here. I'm calling you expert. I think most times you tell us that we shouldn't use the word expert here. We're looking at freaks here, but they are using the word expert here. I know you've told Joe and I not to use those words, but they use them.
Well, there's a limit to
when you call someone an expert.
That's a limit.
Yeah.
When you say to people, please don't give that tag to me, and they say, no, we do not know who else deserves that tag.
Let's move on now. Let's the next I think we'll take one more clip, then we can join. Come back next week. The good news is that you have been able to touch very much to us about what happened in Kenya, the Ethiopian Air, which is what everyone wants to see. We've been able to get some knowledge here, and that will determine as we watch and see how the event unfold. Once it breaks the word, like the Osipanjo chopper, you said this is what happened. It turned out to be what you said that happened, like that. But somehow, nothing seems to have followed up again, because the fault wasn't the fault of the pilot, not the fault of the
airplane,
of the
helicopter,
but human error that failed to water the ground.
Yeah.
And the dust changed the weather pattern, and everywhere was.
And the helicopter is about, like you put that there, air management or wind management.
You need to see. Once you don't manage the wind, you don't water the ground, the dust will come up here, and it'll be like it's dust. But let's get the next clip quickly.
Before, if you can be there, just starting up the paper.
Okay.
We're not going to be looking at the all the honorable this, honorable that, the protocols. Let's go straight to what Madam Hadiza Usman, said to us at NAF Center. It is my honor, and I am reading what Madam Hadiza said, and it's not me saying that. It is my honor and privilege to be invited to this seminar, and to wish to thank organizers of this event. I am honored to speak on the topic reforms in the Nigerian ports, the hurdles and the opportunities. You see why this paper is quite important on this program, Joe. I'm so sorry. The port reforms in Nigeria can better be appreciated with a little background history of the reform process. History of Nigerian Ports Authority. Nigerian Ports Authority was established in 1954 by an Act of Parliament, Act Cap 155, Laws of the Federation of Nigeria and Lagos, 1955. Currently, MPA Act Cap number 126 LFN 2004, and commenced operations in April 1955 with Port Harcourt and Lagos ports. Calabar Port was acquired in 1969, parts of Old Warri and Burutu in 1972, and Federal Lighter Terminal One in 1983. Nigerian Ports Authority owned and provided maritime, cargo handling services, and common user facilities in 8 ports up until 2006, when our trouble began, when cargo handling operations were concessioned to private terminal operators. That's clip 4. If we're stopping here, Otherwise,
Next week we'll begin clip 5.
we'll repeat clip 4 so that our viewers will come along. It's important to me that they come along with us and see all the lady that is at the helm of affairs of MPA is saying as the hurdles and the challenges. And by the time we've heard directly from the horse's mouth, we want to find out why the ports around Nigeria are not working.
Okay, Adisa Bala Usman used to be a friend, a PA to Madam Nasir El-Rufai when she was at the FCTA in 2005, PA to El-Rufai on general matters, and she handled some of the issues around the smaller food cottage centers in Area 10. That was where I first met her there.
Right.
Thanks for coming.
My pleasure.
We thank you very much, and we still pray for the repose of the souls of those persons who died in yesterday's plane crash, and we are hoping that we won't get this to happen again. Like what I said, may God just keep, sometimes
airplanes are very faithful machines.
Human errors.
But this time around, it will appear.
It is human who did not get it right. The plane is set to go.
What was
but
sad?
It's human who did not get it right.
What was sad about the one that happened in Indonesia was that it turned out that the manual of the airplane didn't contain information on that new installation, the anti-stall system. And what was more, the pilots had not been given appropriate training on how to respond to activities of the anti-stall system, and that was very sad. But I hope the situation is not still subsisting up until this day.
Okay, I thank you very much. It's an ending discuss. By next week, we'll start with the same plane, because the same crash, because you would have gotten more information so that we can work on that and then go to the normal topic for discuss the maritime sector. Thanks for coming again.
My pleasure.
Have a wonderful day. We'll take a break. When we return from the break, Sarona May, and I will be taking on the next guest, and we'll be looking at the world surprising gubernatorial election. So much big changes, so much shocker here. Somewhat the low voter turnout and several other issues will be what we'll be extracting after this break.